Hello and welcome to today's video. So this is going to be a really exciting video where essentially I'm going to start a whole series that I have never read before. This is going to be spoiler filled, my exact thoughts, what I'm thinking, who's good, who's bad, do I guess what's going on, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, hopefully just the experience of like reading this entire series. So the series itself is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. There are 6 books in this series. I've got them all here, starting with Vampire Academy and ending in the Sacrafice. So here they are up close. These are all different editions. I really amazingly got them all in a charity shop for really cheap. I don't remember how much. I'll shove a picture here or something. But yeah, super excited by that. I think it's going to be a load of fun to read. So this series has kind of been on my radar for quite a long time. About 10 years ago now, a film came out called Vampire Academy. It was based on the first book. And about 10 years ago, I watched it. I really enjoyed it. Found out there was a book series. I just never ended up picking it up, so now I'm going to. So I'm probably a little bit old for this series, but I enjoy reading YA anyway. I don't think there's really an age limit on reading below your age sort of thing. So I enjoy YA and I expect to hopefully, fingers crossed, enjoy this series. I can remember when I watched the film, I thought it was really good. I really can't remember a lot about it except for the basics of there's a vampire protector, they don't want to be at school, there's some sort of conspiracy theory I think, and the protector needs to not let the vampire get killed. I think basically that's what I can remember, but I can remember really enjoying the film. And a lot of the people who've read the books don't really rate the films very highly, so my hope is the fact that I enjoyed the film, I'm going to really enjoy the books. So yeah, so this is book 1, Vampire Academy, just to like start it off in case you've never heard of this series and are just here for the spoiler filled video. This is what it says on the back before going into it. Lisa Dragormi is a mortal vampire. She must be protected at all times from the fiercest and most dangerous vampires of all, the ones who will never die. Rose Hathaway is Lisa's best friend and her bodyguard. Now, after 2 years of illicit freedom, they've been dragged back inside the iron gates of St.Vladimiri's academy. The girls must survive a world of forbidden romances, a ruthless social scene, and terrifying nighttime rituals. But above all, they must never let their guard down, lest the immortal vampires take Lisa forever. Ooh. So yeah, that's what I know. That's what we're going in for. I'm going to read. We'll just go along this journey of the Vampire Academy. In case you have only read some of these, or you know, you don't want to get spoiled for certain books, what I'll do is I'll timestamp all the video for like where the book starts. So yeah, guess we're just gonna get into it. So the curtains are closed, so it does look like it's still night time, but it's now actually the next morning. I'm enjoying it so far. I didn't get that far in. I got 58 pages in. I'm about to start chapter 5. Really enjoying it. I think it's really good. I can't quite picture the characters, so I think I'm going to look up some sort of like fan art online just to kind of get a better picture of what they look like. Like I feel like the vagueness is there in my head. You know, for each of them, like their hair colour, their eye colour, like some of them what type of build they are, but like except for that it's not really in my head. So I'm just gonna look up some fan art just to try and figure out how other people are picturing them, because that really helps me like speed along with the book. If every time I get to a name I just know what they look like in my head, rather than being like, right, so they look like that and that and that, so it's probably a bit like this and then carrying on sort of thing. So yeah, but yeah, it started off they weren't at school and they basically straight away got captured and sent back to school, so I think it's all going to take place at the school now, so that's interesting. And there's some sort of like threat that's made them run away, but they won't tell anyone what that was. But it's kind of been alluded to in their thoughts that there was something but they don't want to say. So I'm guessing that threat's still there, so at some point we'll figure that out as well. So yeah, overall, like, I'm really enjoying it so far. I can't read a lot today, but there's more reading sprints happening on YouTube tonight, so I will definitely pick it back up then, and I will try and get all my work done as quickly as possible so I can pick it back up even sooner. Hello, okay, so it is almost 7 PM, got 10 minutes, which is when sprints start, and I'm almost finished working for the day. I'm literally just waiting for like the computer to finish doing its thing, so I need to wait till it's done. But I have now just looked online for some fan art, like I said I was going to do earlier, just to give myself a visual, I guess, and I found one of Rose and Dimitri, I believe it's depicting, and I feel like, yep, they're in my head now, I know what they look like. And then I found one of Rose and Lisa, where I can kind of like see what they look like, but it's not quite vibing. But then I found like a big one, almost like a scene, where it's saying like, I don't think you'll be able to see this, I'm going to be like inserting it somewhere here, and I don't think you'll see the writing, but it's basically saying, mess with Lisa again and I'll break you in half. So it's mainly Rose, but I feel like the singular picture within that picture where Rose and Lisa are hugging, I feel like I can see what Lisa looks like. So I'm basically, yeah, basically I'm sorted. I can't see who any of the artists are, to be honest. Like, they're all signed, so like I'll leave that in so you can see who signed them, but I can't see where they're from originally, like I can't link them or anything. But yeah, I'm gonna start reading soon. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to pick the book up all day. It's really kept me going to do this work. I'm like, the quicker I get work done, the quicker I can read. So yeah. Okay, so another sprint has started, so I thought I'd quickly do like a little catch up. This is really good so far. I think I'm about halfway on page 156 of 332, so I'm like 10 pages off being halfway, and I'm enjoying it. I like the vibes, I like the characters. It is reading a little bit young, but like not in every aspect. So like the main aspect that I feel like is reading really young is the school drama, but it's school drama, so I guess it shouldn't be that surprising that it's reading young. But the rest of it, I'm like enjoying it just for like what it is, not being like, oh, like this is good but young. So yeah, it's going good. I really like Rose and Dimitri's vibe. Like, there's definitely some like tension there, but nothing's happened, but I'm like, something's gonna happen. And then I quite like, oh my gosh, what's his name? Christian. I quite like what we've seen of his and Lisa's vibe, but like we haven't really seen a lot, because obviously we see it all through Rose's eyes, but Rose can go into Lisa's head. I haven't even explained that. Yeah, so the whole book is in Rose's perspective, well, at least the first half, and we see everything from her, but also when they're apart she can sometimes go into Lisa's head because she's her guardian, although like not technically yet, but she's essentially going to be her guardian. And they've got like a special connection, not all guardians can do that. And the last couple of chapters that I've gone through have been quite info dumpy, but it kind of feels like I understand the world now. The world is kind of there, like the politics, how it works, like there's 12 royals and like there's a monarchy, but only between those 12 families, and everyone else is just kind of like doing their thing. Yeah, essentially the type of vampire that Lisa is, which is like the main type of vampire, rule the place. And then there's also a vampire type called Strigoi, but they're like vampires turned bad, like they eat, well, drink other vampires. And then Rose is essentially a half vampire, but not dead at all, like half human, and the human side is what keeps her like lifespan alive. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it and I'm really getting into it, and I'm just gonna keep reading, to be quite honest. I don't have anything like major to add yet. I feel like so far everything's kind of been like giving us information, setting the vibe of how characters are and how characters interact with each other. And like, I haven't really had anything to react to, nothing shocked me yet, but so far so good and good vibes. Okay, so essentially Lisa can bring almost dead animals back from the dead. I have a theory. We know that Rose should not have survived the car crash that killed her parents. I'm thinking Lisa might have brought Rose back from the dead and that's what's causing their bond. That's my thoughts. I don't know, but that is my thought, so we'll see where that goes. And also I did just want to mention that there is talk and like graphic depiction of self-harm in here, so like, yeah, you should probably know that before going in. So yeah, just thought I'd mention it here. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to update on, but I just wanted to basically say my theory. I think that's what's going to happen. She brought her back from the dead. And someone knows, I have no idea who knows, and like who's sending the dead animals and like the messages and like why she's in trouble. I'm thinking it's got to do something to do with one of the royals, but that's about as far as I've narrowed it down. It's probably a royal, so yeah. Rose and Dimitri got together, but it's a lust spell. Kristen got knocked out in the chapel. Lissa's been kidnapped, and it was one of the royals. Yeah, it's all happening. We're going with it. They're in the car to try and catch up with it, and it's all exciting. I'm about to get to chapter 22, and it's now all happening. But there's only a tiny little bit of the book left, so I don't know. And it's also very late, so I really should put it down and go to bed, but Jafar, get off there. I got it right about the car crash. She did die and she had to like bring her back to life. Hello. So last night I finished Vampire Academy and it was really, really good. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars, honestly. Like, obviously it's not as involved as like over the top as like an adult book, but like this was such a good YA book. I can't believe it's taken me this long to read it. I really enjoyed it, really enjoyed the characters, and I really enjoyed like the danger aspect and what was going on with like the baddie. I really enjoyed the relationships that formed, and the world building itself was really good. Like, we got all the information we needed without it feeling really info dumpy and over the top, and yeah, really good book. 4.5 stars. I really hope the rest of the series is good. Yes, Rose is shadow kissed. Yes, it's because Lisa brought her back to life. And then Miss Carp and St.Vladimiri were also the same as Lisa, and she was basically using a magic called spirit. So rather than like picking up one of the 4 elemental magics as her like specialised magic, hers is actually spirit, and rather than using one of the elements it used like herself, and that's why they're like have a history of like going mad, because it uses a lot of them up. But when you've got a shadow kiss guardian, they can help you through that. We found out at the very end that St.Vladimiri was like perfectly fine and died like of old age because his guardian helped him through it. So yeah, that was so good. Rose and Dimitri did not get together. They had like a very serious adult conversation and were like, if we get together, then like we'll protect each other rather than protecting this sort of thing, like if we fall in love. And it actually wasn't completely stupid. Like, they're obviously still going to get together, like it's obviously going to happen at some point in this 6-book series, but yeah, I'm really enjoying that. It feels like it's not going to be like super simple. They're actually giving it like some like higher context. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So now time to pick up book 2. This is Vampire Academy Frostbite. Essentially I do have some stuff I'd like to do today, but Jay has got a massive all-day meeting with work, so I'm probably gonna have like a couple of those midday when they have a break, and then a couple of those this evening to get what I need to do done. I should probably find my bullet journal and figure out what I need to do today as well, but problem for another time. Right now I'm picking up Frostbite. Okay, so I also figured I'm going to read the back of the novel in case like you're intrigued. Winter break turns deadly as a massive vampire attack puts St.Vladimiri's academy on high alert. With the deadly creatures closing in, this year's trip to a wintry peak in Idaho has just become mandatory. But Rose Hathaway can't escape her guy troubles. Her relationship with gorgeous tutor Dimitri can never be, and her closest friend just confessed to his huge crush on her. The glittering winter landscape may seem like the perfect hideaway, but Rose and her heart are in more danger than she ever imagined. Ooh, let's get reading. Okay, so I've got to chapter 10 so far. This little boy needs some attention now though. And it's going really good so far. Basically, so far we've seen that Lisa and Christian are like just like fully in a relationship now. She doesn't have any like possession of her magic anymore. She's on tablets and it's stopping her from using it, but she doesn't like that, and there's something weird going on with the tablets where they're not 100% effective. Like, she can feel thoughts. Rose can still see into Lisa's mind, and it's not as easy to control when she's in there. And we've just found out that Dimitri's potentially leaving to guard someone else who he would put like potentially like have a child with, and Rose isn't happy about that. Near the start of the book there was a big vampire attack, as it said on the back, and now they're all going to go on a ski trip, but they're still not going on the ski trip. I think it said they were leaving the day after Christmas, and I think currently where I'm reading it's Christmas Day, so yeah, going good, going interesting. I'm not as into it this far in as like I got into the last book, but I feel like once the pace picks up a bit I'll be like really into it again. So yeah, going good so far, just need to keep on reading. There are, you might be able to hear it, there's like roadworks and gasworks going on all on the road, and like we live in a terraced house, so the house is like right on the pavement. And it's doing my head in, to be quite honest. Downstairs it's really like nice and cool. We've kept like the thermal curtains closed. I can't go down there because the noise is even louder down there, so I'm trying to stay in the bedroom, but I can still hear the noise and I'm definitely struggling. I've attempted to get work done today and it's just not happening. I'm gonna have to do loads of work tomorrow instead. I'm really annoyed because they didn't let us know they were doing roadworks on the street. Like, they obviously knew they were going to do it. It only would have taken them a few moments to like shove something through the door to say how long this is happening, but we don't even know how long it's going on for. So I'm not happy, but I'm enjoying my book. I'm just aware it's taken me a lot longer to read than it normally would. It's like, what time is it now? It's almost 3 PM and I'm only like 10 chapters in, and I just know that normally I would be reading a lot quicker, but my head's hurting and yeah. I guess I'll just check back in a bit and figure out what's going on. Okay, so I haven't checked in a while. I've just got to chapter 19 in Frostbite. Basically what's been going on is everyone's lives are just kind of a mess and everyone's just kind of like dawdling. Rose trusted Mason with the information Dimitri gave her that there were some Strigoi were in Spokane, and basically then they got in a fight and he took himself and 2 friends to go and try and find them even though they'd basically died. So her and Christian, who had conveniently fell out with Lissa, have now gone to fetch them from Spokane. On the way back to the bus station, they have basically got stopped by a van and it looks like Rose is about to get kidnapped. There's not really that much of this book left. There is 65-70 pages, something like that left, and I can't see it wrapping up. I feel like this book, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed like the characters interacting with each other, but that is mostly why it's been. It kind of feels like it's setting up the next book. I mean, unless they've somehow managed to wrap it all up at the end in these last few pages, but I'm pretty sure they're just like setting up the next book for this. So I'm going to keep reading. Me and Jay are both actually reading down here. He's just gone outside to put the bin away. But yeah, we're going to read for a while. But yeah, basically, still plodding along, still going through, still really enjoying it. Just kind of want it to get to that point where the action starts now, or something happens that doesn't feel like it's just setting the scene. So yeah, to keep going. Jay, shut up and read your book. Okay, so I actually haven't updated in a while. I finished Frostbite last night and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was fun and good. However, I didn't expect it to have such a conclusive ending. Basically about 60-70 pages before the end, there was still a lot of unanswered questions, and I was like, oh well, like there's more books in the series, maybe it's like setting it up for the next book, so the next book's loads of adventure. But then still within those last few pages it essentially resolved everything. But I still really liked the characters. I still really liked the new characters we got and the world and how everything's going. To be quite honest, I can't really remember a lot of specifics because I'm now 288 pages into the next book, which is Shadow Kiss. I ended up reading quite a bit last night before bed, and then I've got through another 100 or so pages today. So I'm just going to read some more of this now basically, and potentially finish it tonight. There's like 150-ish pages, maybe a bit more than that left to go. So we'll just wait and see. I am really enjoying this. I will read the back of it because that is what I've done to all the others, although I am no much further in, but I guess this will be like the non-spoilerly I'm reading the back of it part. What if following her heart means losing her best friend forever? Rose Hathaway knows it is forbidden to love another guardian. Her best friend Lissa must always come first. Unfortunately, when it comes to the gorgeous Dimitri Belikov, some rules are meant to be broken. Lying to Lissa about Dimitri is one thing, but suddenly there's way more than friendship at stake. The immortal dead are on the prowl, and in a heart-stopping battle, Rose will have to choose between life, love, and the 2 people who matter most. But will her choice mean that only one survives? Yeah, fun. I haven't really got to the battle-y part yet, but the book essentially started off like reintroducing everyone and doing all that jazz, and then we found out that Victor from book 1 had never actually gone to proper jail. He was like waiting for a trial, and the trial was coming up and they didn't want them there. So essentially Adrian from book 2 managed to get... Jafar, are you alright? What you doing? But essentially Adrian from book 2 managed to get them to go to the trial. All of them were going. Dimitri couldn't get them in, and as soon As they got there, essentially Victor threatened Rose and Dimitri into telling that there's a thing going on there. He technically kind of did in the trial, but no one believed him, so it was fine. And then he got put away. So that was kind of that side of it. And then there's also the fact that Lisa and Adrian are both spirit users, and they've been practicing, and Christian, Lisa's boyfriend, is a bit jealous of that, but like relatively okay with it, so it all seems fine in general. Then the main plot of this book kind of seems to be that Rose is seeing ghosts, and she's seen the ghost of Mason the most, who died in the end of the last book. Also seen a load of other ghosts that she's either seen die or seen dead, so like people who had got attacked by the Strigoi, or Lisa's parents, or Mason, or the Strigoi that she killed. Like all round, that's what's happening. And it kind of seems like she's going mad, but when she's at the school, she's only seeing Mason, and the school's got like wards around it. I can't remember the exact name for them, but essentially like magical protection. And when they went to the trial at the Royal Palace, that also had loads of wards around it. But when they were in the air, and when they had to land at a different airport, it got really, really bad. Essentially what it seems like is going to be happening is Lisa's not going mad using her magic like it was expected for her to, because that's what had happened in the past. I don't remember where I was, the cat was just sick, but essentially I think that Rose is going to be taking the craziness away from Lisa rather than Lisa going crazy. But I'm going to keep reading and see where things go. Just finished it, probably going to be at 4.5 stars. Rose and Dimitri eventually slept together, told each other they loved each other, came up with a plan to spend the future together, and then in a massive Strigoi attack, Dimitri's more than likely turned into one of them, and now she's left school on her 18th birthday to go and kill him. And that's the end of the book. Finished it. That's how it ended. Like, honestly, I'm going to start the other one right now. It's like 1 AM. I don't care. I'm going to start it. Or I might even give this 5 stars, honestly, because that ending fucking got me. I did not expect that. Yeah, I'm going to mull it over and have a think, but I think I'm just going to start the next one. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect to be shocked. I've guessed most things. I did not expect to be shocked, and I was. And yeah, we're pretty sure that Dimitri has turned Strigoi, because that's what the ghost of Mason said, but also he was like coming in and out, and I feel like there's 3 more books and this is the main storyline. But I don't know, he could actually be Strigoi and she's gonna go kill him, and I need to start the next book, so that's what I'm gonna do now.
How far will Rose go to keep her promise? The recent Strigoi attack at St.Vladimiri's academy was the deadliest ever in the school's history, claiming the lives of Roy students, teachers and guardians alike. Even worse, the Strigoi took some of their victims with them, including Dimitri. He'd rather die than be one of them, and now Rose must abandon her best friend Lisa, the one she has sworn to protect no matter what, and keep the promise Dimitri begged her to make long ago. But with everything at stake, how can she possibly destroy the person she loves most?
I actually can't wait to start reading this. I've just checked the time and it's almost 3 AM, but I guess this is what we're doing. I'm really enjoying this series. Okay, putting it away for now. I'm like partway through chapter 3, but I just can't stay awake. Interesting so far. Rose has gone to Russia on her way to Siberia to find Dimitri to kill him, and so far not that much has happened, but she has met Sydney, which we don't really know a lot about Sydney yet, but I'm excited because I know that Sydney is one of the main characters in the other series that Rochelle Mead has done in this world. I think it's the Bloodline series. So it's interesting to meet like a character from a different series that I probably will read at some point, knowing how much I'm enjoying these. And yeah, that's basically everything. I am absolutely knackered, so I'm gonna go to bed and I will check in when I read some more. Okay, so I'm coming back to picking up this one. When I picked it up previously, I'm 3 chapters in. So this is Vampire Academy Blood Promise. This is book 4 in the Vampire Academy series. So yeah, I'm just going to keep reading this and I will hop in as and when things happen. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, this is not turning out how I expected it all. Like, I don't know why, I just expected it to be really like action-packed. I'm now on chapter 13 and not that much has happened so far. Like, a lot's happened but not like the action. Yeah, this really didn't turn out how I expected. So obviously I think last time I checked in, Rose and Sydney were travelling to Dimitri's hometown. Rose thought Dimitri would be there and she'd be able to kill him. They got part way and then two Strigoi attacked and Rose killed them but was injured. And then she got taken to that town while she was like semi-unconscious and ended up being taken to Dimitri's family to be healed. Dimitri's family didn't know he was dead, or like Strigoi, or however you want to say it, so she had to tell them that. And then there was like that whole scene, there was the like, it wasn't called a funeral, I can't remember what they called it, like the wake part of a funeral they had. So there's all that, and then it's basically just being Rose trying to figure out what she wants to do next. She's still been flashing into like Lissa's head so she knows what's going on, but to be honest, not a lot's going on. Like, Lissa made a stupid deal with the Queen at the end of the last book and now she's got to like go and do a load of royal things that she doesn't really want to do. That's pretty much it. But Rose also, while she's been in this town, found another spirit user who has a shadow-kissed guardian. I mean, not that much has come from it, but like she definitely got some advice and I feel like there's potential, like knowing what she's learned, just like simple things like Lissa could heal Rose's like darkness that she takes from Lissa out of her and stuff like that, could come up again in the future. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I think she's gonna leave the town soon. Like, people want her to stay, like Dimitri's family's basically taken her in, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna leave and go and try and figure out where he is because he's not hanging around that town. She's now thinking he's probably in a big city, but she doesn't know how to figure out which one. So yeah. Oh, and also Sydney's already left. She left a few days ago to go back to do some alchemist business. So let's keep reading. She has found Dimitri and things are not going well. She's now been captured by him and can't kill him. I really don't know what's going to happen at this point. Finished the book. I'm quite impressed. I'm still really enjoying it. This wasn't as good as the others for me. I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars. But the way it's ended, I'm really excited for the next one. Like, I can't wait to pick up the next one. When did I last check in? I think I checked in about the halfway mark. I think she'd found Dimitri. Essentially, he wanted her to become Strigoi like him, but it wasn't for love, it was just because of her abilities. In the end, she managed to escape. This was like the main plot, was like that section of it. She managed to escape, thought she'd killed him. It's pretty obvious she hadn't really. We found that out right at the very end. It turned out Avery, Lissa's new friend, was a spirit user. Again, I thought that was quite obvious. It was definitely being alluded to. But yeah, basically she wanted to kill Lissa and bring her back to be bound to her. But that didn't happen. Rose, with the help of another spirit user, managed to get into Lissa's mind and stop her from jumping out a window. And then Adrian also came in and they basically like defeated them. Avery and the 2 people that were already bonded to her have now gone crazy. However, a main plot point here, well, not a main plot point, but one thing we learned was Abe was Rosie's dad, which we didn't know, but her mom saw the scarf that he'd given her and was like, that's your dad's scarf, so interesting. And then also we found out essentially there's some sort of fairy tale that says that a spirit user can heal a Strigoi to basically like reverse the effects, I think. Like, it's not very clear what it is, but the only person that knows is an illegitimate son of a Dashkov, I think that's how you say his last name, and it's Viktor Dashkov from the books 1 and 3 is the brother of the illegitimate brother that apparently knows all of this, and that's where he got all his spirit information from. And now they need to break him out of jail to get him to tell them where to find his brother and where to get the information from to potentially save Dmitri, because he's now going to hunt Rose to kill her. So that's where we are, that's where we're at. It's all interesting, it's all fun. I'm really enjoying this series still. There we go, and honestly, I'm probably going to start the other one straight away. I can't think of anything else I want to do with my evening, so that's probably what I'm going to do. Right, hello. Almost the exact same spot as earlier, but I'm like in my pyjamas, settled in for the night now. So I thought I'd quickly just read the back, as that's what I've been doing with all the books, and we'll figure out what's going to happen in this one.
Rose's life will never be her own. Rose Hathaway has been outrunning death ever since she swore to be the protector of her best friend Lisa, no matter what. She finally made it to the haven of St.Vladimiri's, but with Dmitri, the boy she once loved, stalking her, Rose can only run so far. She failed to kill him when she had the chance, and now her worst fears are about to come true. Dmitri has tasted her blood, and she knows in her heart that he is hunting her, and if Rose won't join him, he won't rest until he has silenced her forever.
So that's what we're reading, that's what this one's going to be going on about. So yeah, I'm just going to start it and see where it leads. So I've moved downstairs for the evening. I've on chapter 4 of Spiritbound, and so far it's getting there, it's alright. We've had the like reintroductions of everyone to make sure we're not forgetting. Rose and Adrian are now like kind of together, like technically he's her boyfriend, but she doesn't view it as that serious, and she's trying to break Viktor out of jail. I think that's the chapter we're about to go into, is them actually trying to like make the plans to do that. Lisa and Christian start talking, and they've graduated school and they're now at the royal palace, and like Mia's there and loads of guardians are there, and they're basically waiting to get their official assignment. So Rose hasn't like officially been told that she's Lisa's guardian yet. They're still waiting to hear that, but so far so good. I was recording on my camera to get my reaction to Dmitri coming back to life. My camera died, didn't get that reaction, but he's now back. The reason I'm recording this now is because I'm now on page 316, and it's basically been said as something going on like a party. It's been passed on through the bloodlines, and then it says elite and bloodline were warning words to me. But Bloodlines is the title of the book in the Bloodline series that has got Sydney in, that we met in the last book. So what I'm thinking is we might be seeing Sydney again soon. I don't want to pop in, mention it. Really enjoying it so far, but I mean, like, Dimitri's back, but he's acting really weird basically. He's really sad and upset, which is understandable, but he won't see Rose, and it doesn't really make sense, to be quite honest, but whatever, people are weird. Let's keep reading. So I've finished Spiritbound. I'm going to get a start on Last Sacrifice, and that's going to be my evening. I will explain more probably in the morning when my camera battery has charged. So, last night I filmed a clip on my phone saying I was going to start the 6th book, Last Sacrifice, which is the last book. I ended up reading 300 pages of it last night. Yeah, it really gripped me, it really hooked me. Like, I put it down because I literally was struggling to read, like my eyesight was struggling to read. But yeah, really enjoying it. Definitely going to finish it today. I mean, pretty much definitely. I think there's like a couple of 100 pages left still, but really enjoying it. First of all, I should probably talk about the end of book 4. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was good vibes, but it didn't give me any like particular wow factor. Like, it was 4 stars basically. I gave it 4 stars, which is still really good. Like, I really enjoyed it. It just didn't have that extra like overall good vibes. So starting this book, I will read the back of it.
It all comes down to now. The Queen is dead and the royal world will never be the same. Rose Hathaway is awaiting wrongful execution, and there exists only one man who can stall this terrible fate. Rose must look to both Dimitri and Adrian, the 2 great loves of her life, to find him. With her best friend Lissa in a deadly struggle for the royal throne, the girls find themselves forced to rely upon enemies and questioning those they thought they could trust. But what if true freedom means sacrificing the most important thing of all, each other?
A few annoying things, basically. On the back it refers to a hymn. At the end of the last book we found out that Lissa has got like a half sibling somewhere. We didn't know any details on it, just that it needed to be explored. Well, we now know it's a half brother because it says that there. And then on the inside of the book at the start there's this like dear readers thing, which there is in some books. Most often it's at the end sort of thing in the acknowledgements, but whatever. So there was like a naming issue with one of the characters, so the name has changed. That's done. But then it also essentially says in this, like, even though it's the last book, don't worry, like in the other Vampire Academy series I'm working on, we will still see Rose's story. But that gives a hell of a lot away. Like, we're following an execution trial here, and you've just said she's not gonna die. Like, surely that's, like, the whole time she was in the jail, like, waiting execution, well, waiting the trial to be executed, I was like, oh, she's not going to be executed, because we've been told that we're going to see her in books of the next series. Like, I don't know, I just feel like that really messed up a lot of this. It would have been a lot more suspenseful without that. But yeah, so I'm 300 pages in, so what's been going on? Essentially, Dimitri, along with a load of others, like it wasn't his plan, broke Rose out of jail. Dimitri, Rose are on the run, and they met up with Sydney. Sydney is being blackmailed by Abe to help them. Abe is Rose's dad, but he's also a very powerful, like, vampire. Lissa is having to compete for the throne to prolong how long until the next king or queen is put on the throne, basically, because that will also prolong like loads of other decisions that need making, and give Rose more time to find Lissa's half sibling, but Lissa doesn't know about that, and also give them more time to find out who really killed the queen. So that's going on, and I mean, it's good fun so far. Like, there's a lot of action, like I'm really enjoying it, like I want to keep reading. This is a really good book. Rose is still with Adrian, although it's pretty obvious by now that they're not going to be staying together. Like, I don't know if like it's obvious to them or whatever, but Dimitri and Rose are definitely like reconnecting in this book, and like there's nothing romantic yet. Like, they did kiss, but it was to escape. But like there's friendship there, and there's friendship growing. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm having a good time, and it doesn't feel like things are wrapping up yet. We've still got 200 pages to go, because obviously like this is the last book of the series. Realistically, they need to wrap everything up. So yeah, so I finished the book. I have thoughts, I have things. It all happened. This is the last book of the series as well, so it's now like all over, and it did end like quite wrapped up, but I guess it's the easiest way to say it. Nothing was left open, everything's kind of sorted and there, and yeah, overall enjoyed it. Turned out that Jill, the younger Maroy from school, was Lissa's illegitimate sister, and it also ended with Lissa becoming queen, Rose becoming her guardian after she got shot and died, and broke the entire shadow-kissed bond. So yeah, I thought I'm gonna figure them out properly, and then we'll come back with a full series wrap up at the end in what will only be like 1 second for you. Okay, so I've just finished editing the main bulk of the video and it is super long, so I won't make this too long at all. If you have made it this far, leave some sort of like vampire emoji down below because that would be fun. But here are the books and I thought I'd just quickly go through a rating of them and say my piece about the overall because I really don't want to make this last ages. So the first book, Vampire Academy, I gave this one 4.5 stars. The second book, Frostbite, I gave this 4 stars. The third book, Shadow Kiss, I gave this 5 stars. This was definitely like the one that shocked me the most. I don't know if I enjoyed it the most, it'd be between this one and the 6th one, but I really like this one. The 4th book, Blood Promise, I gave this one 4 stars. The 5th book, Spirit Bound, I gave this one 4 stars. And then the last book, Last Sacrifice, I gave this book 4.5 stars. So overall, really enjoyed them all, had a good time, really enjoyed the world, really enjoyed like Rose, Dimitri, Lissa, Christian, Aiden, like all of them. It was great, it was a good time and I had fun. I'm really glad I read them and I'm actually definitely going to buy the other series set in the Vampire Academy world, the Bloodline series, just because I think I'm also really going to enjoy that, and that's also 6 books and is based on Sydney, one of the minor characters from books 4 and 6. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a like. Subscribe down below if you would like to see more like this, and let me know if there's any other series that you think I should do like this. And yeah, hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.